Nature. Playing with bugs like in school.
He says, "Hey, leave me alone."
Hi. Hey. Oh my gosh, this has been such a long time coming.
This is so exciting.
Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you.
Thank you for doing
At this amazing location. We are at the Kenneth Hahn Park today, and we're going to visit the Martin Luther King Monument. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to do this interview with you before you leave me to go to Africa. Anyway, I have been following you on YouTube.
Yes, thank you.
And I love your black story. I love your love story. I love your daughter.
Thank you.
I want that chocolate drop.
Thank you so much.
You know, so you know, she's so precious and so innocent and so lovely, and it's just good to see that. You've been traveling back and forth to Senegal for, what is it, the last 10, maybe 12 years?
Yeah.
What is it about Senegal that gravitated you in the first place to visit? And then take me a little bit through how it's felt for you over the 10 years.
Okay. Well, the first, this is interesting. So the first time I went to visit, I was pushed to go because I was interested in the French language. I had been studying it a little bit in college, and that was the next one on my list. And I was dating a Mzungu. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
They're gonna be bad.
That's okay. You got a chocolate African now, so we can forgive you for that one setback.
I tried it once. So and this person lived in New York and took me to a Senegalese restaurant.
Oh wow.
And so then I started hearing the name of the country more, and I think once you hear something for the first time, then you start to recognize it, because if you didn't hear of the country, people probably have talked about it and it never even resonated.
That's true.
But it's like, you know, when you get a new car and then you start to see all the people who have the same car as you.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. So that put the bug in my ear. And I was actually planning to go to the continent with this person, but I was like, I don't really want to go have my first experience be with you, you know.
Okay.
I want to feel welcome there. I don't know how the reaction is going to be.
Yeah.
So I think I'll plan to go on my own. So, a friend of mine had gone.
Okay.
And I think she went to college with someone from there, and she had family there, and they went together, and she told me she had a great time. She met a hot guy. She loved it. I was like, okay, so somebody I know has gone there. It's not too far-fetched or crazy to try to go.
Right.
So I had a little bit of knowledge and background information.
Okay.
So from there, when it ended with the Mzungu and I was so heartbroken and depressed, I was like, I'm going to Africa now. Nothing can stop me. So
right.
It actually pushed me to go.
Okay. So that was your motivation?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So even through the breakup and not going with him, you still wanted to go and visit anyway?
It pushed me even more, because I wasn't waiting on anybody to go with me. I said, I'm going to make it happen by myself. I can't depend on other people to be there,
yeah, or
to want to go at the same time, have the right amount of money, and, you know, a lot of your friends want to go to the Caribbean and different things. And so I couldn't wait. I said, I'm just going to go and live my life. I don't care. I don't want a man anymore. I'm just going to go be free. I don't need nobody. And I just... You know.
Did you feel like you was like, I'm done with men, I'm kind of hating men for the minute? You know what I mean?
I hated them hard.
Yeah.
I did not like them looking at me, talking to me, nothing. I was really pissed off.
We do go through that as women though, don't we? You know what I'm saying? When you've had that first, you know, pain factor of a relationship, especially if it's been something that you really cared about.
Right.
You know, like when you hurt like that, you're just like, I'm done. All men are X off the planet. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I do not want to talk to you. Have nothing to say to you, etc., etc.
I think for me, the insult to injury was, this is a O'Bruni. This is a Tubob. This is a, you know, Mzungu. Like, you can't get nothing better than me, and you gonna dog me? Like, no. I said nah.
Yeah.
So it kind of taught me that there's no safe decisions in life. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna go with this guy because I'm gonna be, you know, he's gonna be faithful because I'm the only chocolate he could get.
Right.
Nothing is guaranteed. dogs come in all colors.
That's
so
true.
I learned that lesson.
That's very true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you, like, what would you say to your 16-year-old self? Like,
About,
I mean, just in general, if you could have a conversation with your 16-year-old self back then.
I would tell her, I'm looking at the camera and talk to her. You were so hot. You didn't even know. You were so hot. You could have had all the dudes, but you was too shy and too self-conscious. You was worried about your hair. Like, man, you could have, I mean, you had a good run, but you could have been so much more. You had so much potential, girl. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I don't even know what to say from that.
I didn't know,
because you know, like back then when I was 16, I was like a tomboy playing football, you know, like totally not there. But I admire that, because you're beautiful, you know what I'm saying? You're a beautiful black chocolate sister. And I think that I ask people that question because sometimes we don't know who we are, you know, at that age. And it takes for us to have some experience, some life experience, to kind of get a feeling of what would I have been like if I made different decisions. You know?
I wanted my skin to be lighter. I wanted my hair to be straighter.
Wow.
It was very little subtle things. It wasn't even like I'm walking around like, oh my gosh, you know, but I still felt like I wasn't good enough as I could be, I guess, in certain instances.
Do you think that some of that, I mean, you've got siblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
Sisters.
Two sisters, okay. Do you think that, are they older or younger?
I'm the oldest.
Okay. Do you think that it was a reflection of maybe, you know, like how you saw your mom and your aunties and stuff like that didn't bring out the best of you when you was that age, or was it just you know what I'm saying, and who you was?
You know what I think it is? I think it's the environment.
Okay.
I think it's everywhere. And it's subtle things that people don't even know they do, they don't intend to do or say. But having a daughter,
okay,
I'm able to see how little girls are treated or socialized, and who goes up to her and says, oh, you're so cute and chocolate, and who kind of, you know, just, I mean, people's little innate reactions. I think that I grew up in a black community, so I think the self-hatred affects us all, whether we want to accept it or not. You know, my parents were, especially my dad, was as pro-black and, you know, recycle black dollars and everything. However, I know the time he grew up, the women who were perceived as beautiful that were black looked like white women. Okay. Or you know, they had small, thin lips, you know, Lena Horne, that type of stuff. Okay. So what is it? Red bone? Is that what they call them? I've heard that term. Yeah. Yes. Even though it's not red, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so people are socialized in that way. My mother, the same. So you know, you don't leave the house with your hair, and she wasn't the type that would actually tell you, you know, get your nappy head. Like, she wasn't tacky like that. But you have to look presentable. Yeah. You know, and I would notice when my hair was not combed, you know, my dad would joke and play with me a little more as if I were a boy. Okay. And then when my hair was pressed straight, oh, you're so beautiful. I got a little more gentle tenderness. So those little subtle things come out. I remember even in school, certain girls getting teased and things like that for having short hair or damaged perm hair or different things, and I used to feel like, okay, I'm not them, so I must be a little cute or a little bit, and so I noticed that with myself, that I would look down in as far as the standard of beauty to other women because of what boys liked or boys said. So I think all those things played a role in how I carried myself unknowingly. Yeah. You know? And you could be amongst all black people and still feel
that's
like,
true.
You know.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, so growing up in Inglewood.
Oh, let me
Inglewood.
fix my jacket real quick.
What will you miss the most when you move to Africa about not being here in Inglewood? Especially as, you know, like, this is your hometown, this is where you've lived, this is where you've grown, your family's here, your culture's here, you know, like, take me a little bit about through how you will feel when you finally realize that I'm not going to be coming back here for a minute.
You know, I've actually been thinking about that for the past 2 weeks, and I'm getting very nostalgic. And I'm like, why am I feeling this way? I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. But this is home.
Yeah.
This is where I'm from, where I grew up. This is where I can walk down the street or go to the supermarket and people know me, you know. So it's gonna take time for me to have that feeling in another place.
Yeah.
It's gonna take, you know, a couple of years for me to have that same familiarity about where I'm moving to. But I think my culture, the food, the music, the lingo, those are things that I will miss. Thankfully, my husband has lived here for 10, 11 years.
Okay.
So he's familiar with it.
Yeah.
And if I need to use some Inglewood slang, you know, he understands what I'm saying. So
that's good.
You know, we can connect. I can still connect with him on that level.
Yeah.
And I've seen his growth and adapting to living here,
right,
and how long it's taken and the different phases. And so that gives me a little more confidence that I will be okay, because I've seen him adjust and assimilate and adapt. And so I just want to...
So do you feel quite well-rounded a little bit then? Like you can leave it, but you always know you can come home, you know what I mean,
right,
at the end of the day, because your family's still here.
Even if I don't come physically, I feel like I'm bringing it with me.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm bringing who I am with me in the way I dress,
yep,
the way I speak, the way I wear my hair, whatever it is. You know, even if I learn new ways of living or you know, adapt different things from the culture in Senegal, I'm still gonna have my little twist on it.
Right.
I'm still gonna have my Inglewood swag. Some things I'm gonna be like, nah, we gotta do it this way. It's just, and it's impossible to deny myself, you know, a part of myself, you know, that's so
rich,
influential. Yeah. So I think I'll be okay.
Right.
I will be homesick. I will be calling home.
Yeah.
A lot. Probably every day, talking to somebody. Just hearing the accent from somebody from here will kind of rejuvenate me as I'm transitioning, I think.
Has all your family been on board with this move? You know, because it's different when you're traveling, you know, for 10 to 12 years, going back and forth, because they know that you're coming back, it's just a vacation, whatever. But then when you tell them that, you know, I'm actually finally moving for good, what was that like for your parents, you know, to hear that?
I think for my mother, it didn't sink in right away. It's been months and months, dropping little seeds here and there. She always knew I was going to retire out of the country, and that I was planning on retiring early. She just didn't know this soon, because I didn't know.
Right.
But as it became closer and my house was on the market, she was like, oh, it's really happening. You know, and I put in my time in my job. Okay, you're really leaving. She said, can you go for 2 years and just come back? Like, just an adventure. She's like, I'm happy for you, but I'm sad. And so, you know, I think for her, it's been a little bit emotional.
Yeah.
My father, I thought he was going to be the one to kind of tell me, you know, well, it's not always going to be good over there. Things change. You see how Inglewood changed in the past 20 years. So, you know, nothing's guaranteed. Because that was usually his rhetoric before. But to my surprise, he really is confident about the success that we'll have there as a couple, as a family. He's seen what we've been able to do as a married couple here together, working together to accomplish certain things and goals. And so he told me, you know, he's excited for me. He's confident about it.
That's nice, isn't it? Like,
so,
that you've got that support, you know what I mean?
I was very surprised. So I was pleasantly surprised and happy about that. And so he actually reassured my mom. So that helps. Yeah. You know, having your parents not worry about you as much.
I feel like, you know, the climate of things, how things are now, you know what I'm saying, for us as a people, that has something to do with it as well. Because, you know, like the fact that You know, we've seen so many people being killed, you know, on TV, and, you know, all the things that we know has happened, but it's not on TV.
Yeah.
You know, we know that, you know what I'm saying? People getting killed, people being ostracized, people being pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
I think that type of climate of things right now in 2020 lets people know that wherever I can go, that I can feel free and safe, that's where I'm going to go. And I think more families are starting to come to terms with it. Some are in denial, but more families are coming to terms with it because they're feeling like, okay, well, if she goes and paves the way for us, then we have somewhere to go.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's exactly what happened. My cousins that I haven't talked to that live in other states have been calling me. I heard you was going. When you get there, I want to buy some land.
Right.
A close friend of mine that's like family. Okay, I'm buying my land next to you. And, you know, I have another homeboy. He was like, all right, I'm saving my bread right now. And once y'all get it started, I'm serious. I'm coming. And so I think that has definitely happened. My husband predicted it. He was like, maybe people will come because we're there, and it's not just a trip that we have to coordinate at the same time. We always will be there, so they can come when they're ready. Yeah. And that's, lo and behold, that's what happened. So people are more open and excited because they know someone that's there on the ground. So I think they feel more comfortable and open to it. But like you said, the times, nobody can deny it. I mean, everybody can see it. It's as plain as day. This is not necessarily a place for us. So a lot of my cousins are, you know, really happy for me.
Yeah,
so
it's a reality for us now. Thank God for camera phones. Yeah. You know, because they're giving us the real deal. And I think, you know, on a global level, everyone's looking at themselves as a black person now and thinking, what can I do to get free? You know what I'm saying? From this enslavement, this plantation, just, you know, like just a sense of feeling confident in themselves, you know, not having to suppress themselves all the time. You know, a lot of people are feeling that, you know.
I feel trapped here. Like, to be safe, I have to stay in my house, stay in my little neighborhood. I can't venture out, can't do a road trip. I can't, like, I don't feel comfortable. And it's like, I feel more comfortable in someone else's country than I feel here. And
exactly.
That's not,
it's really weird, isn't it?
It's not fair,
The isolation of it all. You know, it's a reality now. So we've just got to, I advise everybody, I know everybody can't leave right now, but make plans, you know what I'm saying? Because this system is not set up for us. It's not. And people try to make you feel like it is, but it's not. It's not.
Someone told me that, you know, it's going to get better. Everybody's protesting together, different, you know, races of people and things like that, which is a beautiful thing. And we haven't seen it at this magnitude before. So I think that's great. But the systems are still there. Yeah. The people in power still follow what's the laws that are written down, the Constitution. Those are the things that keep us in this, you know, for the past 50, 60, 70 years, we've been trying to change things, and, you know, it's not happening.
And I feel like if I stay here, what am I staying for? You know what I mean? That's what we got to think about. What are we staying for? You know, if we can go somewhere and develop our people, why would we not? You know, make a decision, make a plan, and get out. You know, I know it's not for everybody, but those that are going to stay, they need to continue to invest in us that are going, because that's something that can help to build, you know, Africa. Yeah. And I'm big on that. For you, 10 years, where do you see yourself in Africa? With your family, with your hubby? Are you going to, you know, extend your family? Is that something that you're thinking about?
I'm hoping to. That was actually one of the reasons that we were considering moving. I wanted to have another child, and I can't do it here. Right. I can't do it as far as childcare is concerned. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to overextend myself and spread myself too thin. I don't want to work and come home and my kids already asleep and I miss seeing them. No. Yeah. I don't want to take 3 months off and go back to work while I'm still nursing. Yeah. So the only way I can have another kid, I told him we have to go. Yeah.
At least you'll have support and help, won't you? Yeah. You know what I mean? And plus, you'll be able to be at home more. You know, because I think the problem is that the way that things are set up here is that you have to have 2 people working in a household. You know, and they force that on the family.
And that wasn't always the case.
So
Yeah.
because of that, you can't stay home with your child because you need that extra income to supply the needs of the family. So that takes away from family life.
Yeah, the system is not set up for us for families.
Yeah.
For family planning. I haven't said this on my channel, but I actually was pregnant.
Okay.
I was pregnant. I had a miscarriage about a month ago. So
So sorry to hear that, honey.
It's all right. It's all right. God is good.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, the timing just wasn't it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we were planning on. It's cool. Thank you. Sue. We were planning on going around the 5-month mark, so I can get there before I got
Before
too
you had the
big and stuff.
baby.
Yeah, and so people in my family were concerned about that, like having the baby over there versus here.
Okay.
And I had to let them know, like, the food is better. I'm more nourished when I'm there. I don't have to work.
Yeah.
I can rest.
You can rest.
With my daughter, my pregnancy, my daughter, I was extremely sick and working at the same time.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I didn't know what to do. It was my first experience, but now that I know, I said I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. And it's good that you know now that, okay, I'm making this move and going forward, because the thing is, it's going to be a totally different lifestyle for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be at peace, you're going to be at rest.
Yeah.
So when you start your family going forward, you'll be healthier too,
exactly.
a lot more movement, because people move around a lot more
They
in
walk
Africa,
a lot.
you know what I mean?
I lose weight like this.
And
when
the
I'm there.
food is good, it's natural, it's not got all this pesticide and all
And you
this
actually
crap,
get full when you eat.
Yeah.
You don't crave snacks.
Right.
For the first few days, you might have headaches and stuff, unless you're still eating Western food.
Right.
But if you're eating with families, you might feel a little bit of a withdrawal from the drugs that we eat here.
Yeah.
But after that, man, you're full. You can eat a small breakfast and eat lunch at 3 o'clock and not snack on anything in between that time, not crave anything.
Right.
And that's that was a surprise. But definitely we plan to try again in the future to get pregnant after I get healthier. I have to get my blood pressure in check.
Yeah, build your body back up.
Yeah, get healthy, and then it probably would be an even better experience.
Yeah.
Than what I had.
A calmer experience as well, because you're not worried about the work
even
situation
delivering in the
and
hospital.
all that. Yeah.
You're treated like a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
It's happened to black women that I know. It's happened to myself on a small scale, but still, the dehumanizing of black women in the medical field is life-threatening.
I think it's even worse now with COVID, because they kind of make you feel like you need to get in and get out. You know what I mean? Which it was a bit like that before, because a lot of my friends have told me that, but now it's even worse. You know what I mean? And plus, there's some anxiety with that as well. You know what I'm saying? Of women that are pregnant going into a hospital period. I think just people going into a hospital period is very daunting now. You know, it's a bit of a troubled time. What do you do for fun here that you're going to take over to the continent?
For fun, let's see. The most important thing for me is music.
Okay.
Music is everything to me. It keeps me from being stressed when I'm at work. It lifts my spirits, and it transports me to different phases of my life.
Right.
The nostalgia that comes with it, the feeling. So I'm bringing all of my collection with me.
Okay.
To bump in the car.
Yep.
to have in my house when we cooking. I'm the type of person I can have speakers throughout the whole house. Right. And just be jamming all day. I'm bringing my salsa music with me. I'm definitely, that's a hobby of mine.
Okay.
I've been salsa dancing since I was a teenager.
Wow.
So they do have salsa in Senegal, so
that's cool.
I'm happy about that. So I found a little club or something on a Facebook group. Yeah. And so I'm definitely gonna plug myself in there, because that's something that I love.
And that's fun, isn't it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Is that something you think you'll do with your husband, or you just get out and just do that?
He
for
can
yourself
come if he want to come, but if he don't come, I'm still going.
Yeah.
No, he dances too.
Okay.
We met at a club. He dances too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but sometimes he gets tired, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with this person over here. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I really am looking forward loads of doing over there that I do.
So you're dancing, your music, anything else? Like what about like, because I mean, you know, movies and stuff like that, that's something that we do a lot, isn't it? Like here, but we haven't been able to really do that in 2020.
Right.
So what kind of things are you going to continue to watch that you watch here when you go home? Because obviously everyone's on like the, what's it, Netflix and cable and all that kind of stuff and YouTube and whatever. Are you going to still watch certain things that you've been watching here?
I will for sure.
Or more African television?
I want to try watching some African soap operas, you know.
They're very funny.
Yeah, so I definitely want to, TV watching, I feel like can be something that can carry over, but it might evolve, you know. I think sometimes I'll watch old shows that I grew up on.
Like Martin or something like that.
Yeah, or The Office or The Fresh Prince. Like, they watch those over there.
Okay.
So I do, when I'm there on vacation, I do watch them in French with subtitles, I think. But they're still good.
Right.
So I do watch those things just for nostalgia. But I plan to have actually a more active life and less sedentary.
Right.
So I really want to try new things.
Yeah.
More than old things.
Yeah.
You know, there may not be movie theaters. I think there's some, but it's not really a big thing.
Yeah.
So I may, you know, have movies at my house on a projector and have people over.
Yeah, cook food.
Things like
have
that.
Some drinks, that kind of thing, you know.
So I'll do those kinds of things myself. And then I want to try to learn how to surf.
Okay.
I never thought it was cool over here because I didn't see any melanated people doing it.
Yeah.
But
there's not many of us in Malibu Beach doing surfing for real.
But you know, but I think I want to try to surf. I see some people surfing over there and they all black.
And it looks
and
beautiful, like, doesn't it? The way they're doing it.
So I'm like, why not? I could do it.
Yeah.
So I bought some boogie boards just to start like baby steps. So I want to try water stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I think growing up, especially as a black girl, you know, you don't want to get your hair wet and you're running from the rain, and it just keeps you from enjoying life. And so now I'm free. I can get wet anytime I want, and so I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
How did you prepare your daughter for this move? Because she's only like 4.5, right? So, you know, in terms of, she's probably not been at school much this year. Right. So, you know, she's going to be leaving some friends behind, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like, so how are you preparing her for that?
Well, we've been preparing her unknowingly her whole life.
Okay.
We use Senegal as a punishment. So, and what I mean by that is when she doesn't listen, we tell her that she can't go to Senegal with us. And so from little, oh my gosh, no, I want to go. Don't leave me. And so we use the psychology. I noticed that a lot of times the immigrant community will be like, if you don't behave, I'm going to send you back to El Salvador, or I'm going to send you back to, you don't want to go there. True. And they use it like a negative thing. Yeah. So I said, I'm not doing that. Right. We're gonna tell her. So my husband caught on, and we both do it. So we always have been doing that. So she loves it. Yeah. She has fun. She has cousins. She has freedom to be a kid a little more. You don't have to. I mean, you watch them, but you don't have to be as guarded and protected.
Yeah, they're a lot more free.
There's a community around helping you with that. So, but we've been talking to her for months. She said, it's taking too long, Mommy. When are we going?
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's already there.
Yeah. So she loves it. She knows we're going to have a new house.
Yeah.
We want to, you know, build a swimming pool so she can learn how to swim. She didn't get to do her swimming lessons this summer. Right. That was something I was looking forward to. But I said, okay, we can have somebody come over and teach her how to swim. Yeah. And so I'm reimagining our life, you know, in my mind. Like, okay, these things, because of COVID, we had to adjust. Yeah. So the adjustment from COVID helped me to
it kind of has helped, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're building up everything in the home anyway. You know, like people, like I remember with my godson, like I did a little blow up paddling pool thing in the house and just said, here you go. Yep. Lots of water. Yeah. Knock yourself out. Opened up the blinds. Right. You know, he didn't know no different. He's only 6. Right. It's the same thing, you know. It's just it's indoors. Yeah. You just open up the screen and create the atmosphere. So yeah,
instead of depending on the outside to supply what we need, like, oh, is there a swimming pool? Are there dance lessons? I'll do it. Yeah. in-house.
And she'll have a new room,
Yeah.
so she can decorate that.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are really exciting.
Yeah,
you
so I
know?
think she's definitely on board. and
Has she
excited
seen
about
any of her friends, like from school, like recently, to kind of say bye, or?
it. The good thing, well, yes. The good thing about this COVID, because my husband and I both had to work, we're, what is it called?
Essential
Yeah.
workers, yeah.
So the good thing was we were able to find a place for her to go to school still
Okay.
when her school closed.
Oh, right, okay.
But she didn't have friends there, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to facilitate that because you can't go into school, you can't meet the other parents, you
Yeah.
can't hang out on the weekends or go to birthday parties. So
Right.
she didn't really get to foster those relationships that she did in her previous school,
Right.
that she had been for a few years. But she was able, this past Halloween, she was able to see her best friend.
Oh,
Me and the other parents, made that happen.
yeah.
We did a video call earlier in the pandemic. Didn't quite go well. They weren't
Yeah.
really into it,
The Zoom stuff is mental.
They were distracted, and so it wasn't the same.
It's not the same. They try to make it the same, but it's not the same. Even with all the, like the, backdrop and all that stuff, these kids are freaked out by that. I really think that the school, I actually wrote an email to the USD, school board and said, why don't you just get rid of this whole year and let the kids start fresh, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, in 2021, because this whole year has freaked them out. And my godsons are behind, you know what I mean? They can't get with the interaction with Zoom school. It's too isolated. They're already isolated, and then they have to do that through school.
I think some people are doing like homeschooling in little groups, like little pods.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great idea. And that's something that a lot of people didn't think about homeschooling before.
Yeah.
But now, working
You're
together
forced
with
to.
other parents, maybe 3 groups of kids.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you can do that in Africa.
I know, right?
So I think COVID kind of made things seem more possible and more feasible.
Yeah.
Because we had to adjust. So the same thing's going to happen on the continent. We're going to adjust to what's not there, what's not available. You may have to take a shower with a bucket.
Yeah.
And then you get used to
And
it
it's okay.
in no time.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Like, I'm a Caribbean child. Like, we had to do that stuff. My family's from the country. They ain't got a lot of money. So, it's kind of like that setup.
Exactly.
You just get in and fit in. That's it,
Yeah.
How is it for you in terms of, because I know that you've left your job now, right?
Yes.
So
It's
you're free
official.
from all of that.
Yep. I'm done.
Do you still want to continue in that profession when you go over to Africa?
To be frank, no, I don't think it works. I don't think it's needed.
Right.
Actually, a lot of times people say, "Oh, this country's so great because they have government assistance for medical, government assistance for food." When you're, and it actually does as much a disservice as a service in a lot of cases. There was a radio show I was listening to. I listen to The Breakfast Club all the time. I'm gonna be listening to them in Senegal too because that's my thing.
Okay.
They keep me connected. But anyway, so they were talking about food stamps and how to eat healthy on EBT, and the cheaper food is the least expensive. I mean, the cheaper food is the most
More
unhealthy.
expensive. Yeah.
And that it's hard to eat healthy because organic stuff costs so much more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen to it. I'm like, this country's so backwards.
Yeah.
Like, but I think, we're providing help to people, but the help is still hurting them because if they have to eat the junk food, it's not nourishing their body at all.
Yeah.
It's actually making them sick.
Yeah.
So.
And that's how they want it, because then you have to keep going to the doctor and you have to keep getting medication and then paying for that. You know what I
money.
mean? So that,
Capitalism.
yeah. So that's how they do it.
Social services is not something that's needed in Africa.
Okay.
Even though, they used to ask you to donate to this or donate to this fund and feed the children and stuff, most cultures in Africa have social services
In-house.
sewn within the community.
Yeah.
Somebody needs medical services, put some money in the pot,
Exactly.
you go get your surgery.
Yeah.
When I need food, knock knock, hi neighbor, it's lunchtime, come on in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not needed in that way,
Right.
which is a great thing. So
You feel relieved that you're not going to be at this job anymore, you know what I'm saying, that you're pretty much done with it now and you can go on and live your life, you know, like how long have you been working at this job?
I've been working in this industry and with this department for 15 years.
Wow, okay, so yeah, a long time.
And I don't necessarily think I feel relieved. I think that I feel free.
Okay.
Traveling for me was my freedom.
Yeah.
And with COVID, that was taken away. So I felt even more stressed at my job than usual. I felt even more trapped by, you know, I felt even more under the knee of the man. Like,
yeah.
You know, at my job, I had to tell them that I have a nose ring for religious purposes, just so they
Really?
wouldn't make me take it out. Yeah.
It's only a tiny nose ring, though. Wow.
And at my job,
they were that political? I mean, they were that conservative,
yeah.
Not political.
Yeah.
They were that conservative.
Exactly.
Wow.
I would go to Senegal and get the doing the henna tattoos on your hand.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I come back to work, comments are made about it, you know, but then I'm like, okay, it's temporary, it's gonna go away. But just feeling like expressing your form of beauty or your standard of, you know, it's just
was that for everybody though, or was that just like, you know what I'm saying, for people? Because like
it was everyone.
If I was Indian, that's part of my heritage and my culture.
I thought about that.
You know what I'm saying? Would they be able to tell me that I can't do that?
Even tattoos is a part of some cultures, but it still was like it needs to be covered. And the crazy thing was, we're in the business of helping the public, and the public looks like us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really hard to enforce certain things, and then go to Africa or go to Colombia or go somewhere else, and people are expressing themselves and still getting the job done. Like,
yeah.
What's the big deal? Why do we have to dress like pilgrims?
Yeah.
Like, that's ugly.
Like, why does it have to be a uniform type of environment? You know what I'm saying? Because social services, it's a real thing, you know. So when I'm talking to you, I want to be able to you know, like be comfortable with
relate.
You and relate. Yeah. So that would make it more comfortable for me. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you're just a normal person, just like me. The suit thing would probably intimidate me more.
It doesn't.
You know?
People don't feel comfortable with it. It's not real, like you said. It's not an everyday thing. And you know, when you go other places and you see people in their colorful clothes doing work, in their traditional stuff, working at a bank, you're like, it's just here that we have this weird standard of, you know, brown, black, navy blue. Like, that's so boring.
Wow.
Like, they even have, as a manager, I have to enforce the dress code. So I read the whole thing, and I'm like, they tell you what any color shoes you can wear. If it's a Friday, you can wear tennis shoes on this day, but they can't be bright colors. I have red tennis shoes. I have polka dot tennis. I mean, you know, but it's, so you're like, I have to dress boring, wear some easy spirits, and like
so
they're not
black
evolving.
Or white in color, and that's it.
And I'm like, no. So I wore my red Pumas. I'm like, I'm not, like, I have to be myself. And it felt like at this job that I had to make extra effort in being who I was.
Yeah.
And making a statement, because around me it was just
BS.
Yeah, I can't be fake. I can't. No, I'm not built for that.
Yeah, so. I think that for me was how I chose my jobs. You know, if I go for an interview or something and I see that the environment is a little stiff and corporate, I know I can't work there. You know what I mean? Because I'm you know, working in the field. I'm an accountant, so and I work usually in film or TV or music, so it has to be that environment for me. Okay, the money's not that great, but it has to be that the environment is very important to me, because I still need to maintain who I am, my culture.
You're there every day.
Yeah, exactly. Wear my hair how I want. I don't care about putting it up in a bun, you know, or putting a wig over my hair. I've been told to do that a couple of times, and it's quite daunting, because I'm like, does she over there have to do that as well? You know what I'm saying? Because she's got like those twisty curls. So she should be wearing a wig too then.
I waited until I saw someone in a higher position than me with locks to get locks.
Wow.
Because subconsciously, I just didn't know if it would be okay or if it would look right or whatever. And it's just not. That's not freedom.
Yeah.
You know.
Because we are who we are, you know what I'm saying, and we should be able to live that. It doesn't stop us from being able to do our jobs, and that's how I see it, you know.
I waited until I got a promotion to get my nose ring. I think maybe 10 years ago, but I waited till I moved up like twice just to see, you know, okay, I'm stable enough. I'm gonna just do it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, then nobody noticed it because it became it's a part of who I am.
Exactly.
And so when I went for my interview for this last position to be a manager, I actually thought about taking it out, even though it's permanent. And I went back and forth. I was covering up with makeup. I was like, I don't know. And it's like, why should I even have to do that? So I said, you know what? If they don't want me, because I necessarily didn't want to be corporate anyway.
Yeah.
I like working with people more closely with the community.
Yeah.
So I said, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I went to that interview. You see the other people, how they're dressed. And black suit, jacket. I wore horizontal stripe, white and black, with a white skirt. Like I have two-tone glasses. They're white, black on the top, kind of like Malcolm X. I think they're black on the top, white on the bottom. I said, you know what? This is who I am.
Yeah.
And it made me stand out.
Yeah. And
so I had my nose ring. I didn't cover it up. I was like, it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna do it and let my presentation and my delivery speak for
itself. Yeah.
And so I went in there, and that's when I saw one of the interviewers had dreadlocks too. So I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Why did I second guess myself? Like,
but it's terrible. You have to wait for that moment to feel like I've arrived. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, because
I could be free and do what I want now.
It's crazy.
No.
Or you have to find a job where there's a lot of black people in management before you can feel like, you know what I'm saying, you can execute some change.
And that's when you know that the Mzungus are more free than us here.
Yeah.
Because things that we're not allowed to do socially, you know, have your kid walking around barefoot with 30 feet, hair not done, you know, wearing different gender clothes.
Yep.
Messy hair.
Rainbow colored hair.
They have messy hair day at school. My daughter cannot participate in messy hair day because I just will not allow it. Because that's ingrained in me so deeply that like a black child with messed up hair can't be seen in public.
Yeah.
That's how trapped we are. I'm still trapped.
Yeah.
Like, we can't
be
do
free.
What they do.
Yeah.
We can't misbehave in grocery stores in front of people. We can't, like, all those things are little like it's all traps.
Yeah.
Little mouse trap, but it's trapped. Like, we're not free.
It's true though, because a lot of industries, you know what I'm saying, like they can come in with rainbow colored hair, you know, 6 earrings up their ears, all this weird color clothing and stuff, and it's not a problem. But if we do that, it's like
then a memo comes out.
Yeah.
You can't dye your hair unnatural colors. But what's her name? Her hair been gray,
blue and
she dyed it
pink.
red. That red ain't natural.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
At least you're away from that now. The plantation, as they call it. You know what I'm saying? That's come to an end now, and you can go home and be free and be whoever you want to be.
Yeah,
how are you preparing your daughter? You know what I'm saying, for the newness of things? I mean, she's been to Senegal several times before, but is there anything that you want to kind of instill in her in terms of being African first? You know what I'm saying? Because here we're taught that we have to kind of suppress, you know, who we are. So she's going to be home, so she can be as free and African as she wants to be. So how are you setting that up for her?
I think that I actually feel like it'll be easier for me to instill those values in her over there than here.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell your child when they have, you know, white, Hispanic, and Asian friends at school that they're beautiful, that they're worthy.
Yeah.
And then they watch TV and there's one black princess.
Yeah.
And one, you know, black superhero or something. And so it's the environment. Even there, I'm sure there'll be some Western influences, but not as much. You know, I think for her, seeing a billboard with a little black girl on it, like for me, that changed my life.
Yeah.
Just like I was like, wow. I told my in-laws, I was like, you guys are so lucky. Everybody on TV is black.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I
You
mean,
know,
it's
if
such a big
you
deal.
want to watch the French TV channel, you can. But you flip, you got the Nigerian channels, you got your own channels, and I'm like, man, we don't have that. And
No.
so I feel like that's gonna be such a gift for her to grow up like that.
Yeah. To
I
be
know.
able to go to a store and see 20 dolls,
Mm-hmm.
but most of them are black.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Or all of them are black. Like,
That might not happen.
you know,
Well, that might not happen with the dolls. They have
we can work on
yes,
that. You know
we can
what I'm
work on
saying?
it.
Because
Mhm.
here, you go to, what is it, like, I don't know, Kohl's or,
Yeah,
you know,
Target or
Target,
something. Mhm.
and it's rows of white dollies and maybe one black or one Hispanic.
Mhm.
You know, it's not a real thing here. You know,
And even
so-
the black dolls have green eyes,
exactly.
straight hair.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, so
pointy nose.
exactly those kind of things are not us.
Mhm.
You know, like not how we're actually built as humans. You know, so it's exciting. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
We're at the Martin Luther King Monument.
Mhm.
What quotes do you favor from him? Because he's got like so many. You know, what I mean? I have a dream.
Mhm.
There's so many of them. What one rings true to you in
Oh.
terms of, you know?
Put me on the spot. Let me see. I know there's a quote that he's talking about. You know who a man really is when they're like going through something, or something like, I forget how it goes, but it's something about like when someone is being tested, that's when you know who the person truly is.
Yeah.
And that has always spoken to me, because when you go through a difficult situation, that's when people can, you know, their other side comes out. They can be all pleasant at first, but when you see them go through stress or a hard time, you know, and they aren't very nice to you, or you know, whatever, you can really see the character of a person.
Yeah.
When things aren't going well. And I think that during this COVID, like, we've all been tested and we've all been isolated, and you're starting to see more and more on camera certain people acting out.
Yeah.
Certain people having hissy fits, certain people, you know, acting like Christopher Columbus, they own everything, you know, and they're having a really difficult time. And then you see other people who are adapting and adjusting and figuring things out, finding solutions. You know, I think they're showing who they really are.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we're people that have been through so much that this is a piece of cake. I'm not even tripping on COVID. Like, COVID, what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know, I'm not afraid of COVID. I'm more afraid of driving to another part of California, or another, you know, driving to Vegas and getting pulled over in a town that I'm not familiar, you know. But
and that's so weird, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Because you're actually from California, so to say that rings true to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not born here, so that makes me know that if you're saying that, you know what I'm saying, and this is where you're from, then we definitely got to get out.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't go to certain parts of Southern California.
Yeah.
Just because I already know what kind of people are there, and I don't. Even if my life is not in danger, I don't like being disrespected. I don't like being disregarded. I don't want to deal with it. So I stay with my own people.
Yeah.
You know.
I
and
agree.
I stay with people who love black people.
Yeah.
Even if they're not black, but you know.
Yeah.
I have some Muzungu neighbors now. 'Cause,
Right.
you know, things are changing.
Yeah.
But they cool.
Yeah.
They like us. That's why they live with us.
Yeah.
At least for right now.
Yeah.
It seems that way. So, you know, as long as I could be around people who respect who I am, respect my culture, and love me, or love my culture and where I'm from, then I'm good. But I don't venture out.
No. And I don't give them enough time to you know, get into my psyche anymore. You know, like, they're all at a distance for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad of the
pleasant distance.
I'm glad of the 6 feet
Yeah.
distance, because I'm like, yeah, you know, and
perfect-
I make them feel like how they used to make us feel. You know, like, I'll be walking down the street, and if I see them, I walk across the street. You know what I mean? Because that's what they used to do to us. So now they get to feel that. You know, same with Chinese. You know what I mean? Because you guys, you know, like you bought this COVID, whatever, coronavirus, whatever. I make them feel the same way that they used to make us feel.
Like we weren't worthy to be touched.
Yeah, like we can't walk next to them. They have to move over. No, I'm moving away from you.
The black gonna rub off.
Yeah, if I get in an elevator and they're in there, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll get the next one. I make them really feel it now.
They do that to us.
Because that's how they used to treat us. So now I give it back to them.
You know the one thing. This may be mean, but I might do it once. The one thing that is my pet peeve with the old Bruni Tubab, when you're walking and they're walking opposite you and they do not move out the way to let you pass.
I don't move.
Until you get there. And it's like, and this has happened high school. I didn't really have a lot of white people in my high school. But college, I started noticing a lot. I'm like, you don't see, like you don't see me. So I might have to do that a couple times over there and just bump into people if I see them.
I've done it. I don't move. And I'm not stepping down. You might have to, I don't know, you're going to figure it out because I'm not moving. I'm already, and I don't look at them neither. So then they can't see how I feel. So I just keep walking, and then they step to the side because you need to move.
Yeah.
You know,
I know
it's our world now, black people. Let's take
out my
it.
periphery, I know you see me.
Yeah.
But, you know, so that thing,
you know,
that they do, I do.
I'm not a mean person, but now I want them to feel a little bit of how it was for us. You know what I mean? Coming up, you know, especially as, why should I move? If you're not going to move, I want to feel the same way that you feel. You know. So yeah,
I want to feel free and entitled too.
Exactly, and they've had the privilege for so long, so it's our turn now. And I feel like, you know, because I do understand that, you know, there is going to be people that don't desire. Like I've got friends and I've spoken to them about, you know, like at some point I am moving to Africa, and they're like, what for? And I'm like, because it's just something that I feel like I need to do, and I need to do that because my spirit is calling me to do that. And they're like, they start reeling off all the things that I'm giving up, and I'm like, that's not stuff to keep me here. The car, the rented apartment. Okay, I'm the rented apartment definitely can go. The car can go. The food is crap. You know, that's why I'm vegetarian and I cook a lot at home. So it's not, you know, there's a lot of things that they feel like they need to stay here, but I don't. You know, I don't feel like I need to.
The convenience,
the
convenience of the things that we have is not necessarily a good thing. Like people need to learn patience. People need to learn how to do for self.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that's becoming cool right now, Africa already has.
Yeah, and that's had it.
We already have DIY.
Yeah.
Like they do stuff themselves all the time. And we're like, oh, I can make some little art craft. I could do this. And then we already have
hello. We've got the beautiful princess.
Hey, baby.
Aww.
You know, they already have we don't need certain we already have what was it saying? They already have do-it-yourself stuff.
Yeah.
Like the farmers market, people will be petitioning here to get farmers market in their neighborhood to have fresh food, and they get all excited to go to farmers. They already have farmers markets everywhere.
Yeah.
You go
and they're more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they build up their stuff by themselves. You know what I mean? In the home.
We'll be looking up stuff. Oh, we find out that this is toxic. Do your own. Make your own. They already have natural stuff.
Yeah.
They already have, you know, the things that we're like, oh, moringa. Did you hear about the kinkalaba? Like they already got it.
Yeah.
They're already cool.
I think it's because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it's more a case of what people are familiar with. You know, and some people just can't adapt to change. You know, so it's one of those things. You know what I mean? They don't want to change because they feel like change is going to be too different and take them out of their norm. You know, so yeah, I think it's just something that we just, like you said, we have to be patient. We have to take time with each other. You know, there's lots of things that we're going to have to learn, you know, like the languages. There's so many different languages in Africa. But I feel like the same way, like I moved from the UK to here, we're going back to Africa and we can get to go to 54 different countries, man. Like, I mean, that to me is just such an amazing thing.
Yeah, I just wiped out all my bucket list as far as traveling. I'm like, okay, I don't have to go to Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't have to go, you know, I want to go to those places because I was here and that's, you know, more attainable. But now I'm like, man, I could go to Tanzania.
Yeah.
I can go to Madagascar. I could go to Cape Verde. I could go to
Congo,
Gambia, see the
Cape
homies,
Town.
you know.
Yeah.
I could go I go to Morocco.
Exactly.
You know, and
I've been to Morocco. It's beautiful, but but I want to see the other parts of Africa. You know what I mean? Because it is beautiful, and there is a lot of us
shout
there.
out to Wodamaya.
Yes,
because he has shown us so many beautiful places.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't wait to go to Ghana and go to Takoradi and Kumasi. Like, I know all the little places now.
Yeah.
It's like things that we didn't even know. And some beautiful places.
He gives you that content quite regularly as well. Miss Trudy gives you some of that as well.
Yes.
You know, like they
Kenya,
show
I
you
gotta go to Kenya.
they show you the good and the bad as well. So you can see a little bit of both. But even in the bad, it's not that bad. Like when if you've lived here, and if you've lived in places like New York or Miami, you know what I'm saying, then it's no different.
South Central got trash on the ground everywhere.
Skid Row.
People living in tents on the street.
Yeah.
Like, so what are we saying?
Yeah.
What's the trade-off here?
I think it's just time for us to just wake up a little bit, go home, if you desire to, because it's not for everybody. Some people are not going to want to leave here because they feel like what they're getting from here is more important than anywhere else that they can go, especially people that are not from America. They really feel like they've arrived, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
being here.
it's hard to change your mindset when you've already left one home to move somewhere and set roots and everything and start over. It's not an easy decision to make.
I'm so excited for you. I'm excited for you, THC. I'm excited for the melanated Mr. Mosley.
West Coast.
For the rest of the, yes, we are the West Coast representing. You know, I can't wait to go there next year and just meet up with you guys and just see how you're doing, you know what I mean? And then, you know,
we're gonna
like,
have a good time.
Start working on,
first.
Start working on, you know, like our plan.
Hey, baby.
Hello, darling.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Say hi to everybody. All right.
I mean, look at this chocolate drop. She's so cute.
Go with that. Dave's calling you. Go real quick. I'm coming in a minute.
We're almost finished, sweetie.